Some TV, the pulse of the nation.
This is News Hour on Some TV. Stream live on YouTube at Some TV Live. Now here are the leading stories shaping today's headlines. Professor Oyewole Tomori urges West African government to take action against Lassa fever. Federal government caution Nigerians against non-essential travels to Ebola-affected countries. West African Society of Parenteral and Enteral Nutrition launches second annual Malnutrition Awareness Week in Taraba State. Now the news info. A renowned virologist, Professor Oyewole Tomori, has urged West African governments to take decisive action against Lassa fever, a various disease affecting the region. Speaking at the second International Lassa Fever Conference on Monday in Abidjan, quote the including lack of a licensed vaccine, uneven diagnostic access, and weak cross-border coordination. He called on ECOWAS members states to strengthen surveillance system, invest more resources, and accelerate vaccine research, warning that resilience on donor funds leaves population at risk. The four-day conference is convened by the West African Health Organization with Nigeria and, quote, the Ivory Health Ministries. Similarly, the federal government has cautioned Nigerians against non-essential travel to countries with confirmed Ebola virus disease cases, amid to prevent a repeat of the 2014 outbreak that killed people. The Nigerian Center for Disease Control said surveillance at airports has been heightened with an emergency response team on standby. Director General Dr. Deji Idris urged travelers with recent exposures and symptoms such as fever, diarrhea, or bleeding to call 6232 or state hotlines and avoid public transport. While the World Health Organization has not restricted travel, Nigeria has strengthened contingency plans and laboratory capacity to ensure preparedness. In related public health initiatives, the West African Society of Nutrition has launched its second annual Malnutrition Awareness Week in Taraba State, bringing together health care professionals, nutrition experts, policymakers, and stakeholders to tackle malnutrition. The week-long program includes road walk, panel discussions, community outreach, and professional training to update strategies in clinical and community nutrition. Some TV correspondent completes the report.
As the role of women entrepreneurship in reducing the West African Society of Parental and Enteral Nutrition has launched its second annual Malnutrition Awareness Week in Taraba State, bringing together healthcare professionals, nutrition experts, policy makers, and other stakeholders to strengthen efforts against malnutrition, a pressing public health challenge in the state. The week-long event featured road walk, panel discussions, community outreach campaign, and professional training section aimed at equipping participants with updated strategies for clinical and community nutrition. Mrs. Grace Bikoru Stephen, State Chairman of the Institute for Dietetics in Nigeria, highlighted the urgent need to address malnutrition, stressing its impact on maternal and child health, economic productivity, and regional development. She encouraged mothers to prioritize balanced diet, proper breastfeeding, and the use of local available food rich in vitamins and minerals, while advocating for regular child health checkups and participation in government and community nutrition programs.
I'm also a nutritionist, the head of clinical nutrition in the Taraba State Specialist Hospital. So today we are out here to talk about malnutrition. Every first week of September, which is 8 to 12, is being declared worldwide by ASPEN and also WASPEN, which is the West African Parenteral Society for Enteral and Parenteral Nutrition. So the reason for celebrating or talking about malnutrition is to create awareness on what malnutrition is and some of the implications of malnutrition, most especially the direct and indirect causes.
Mrs. Doris Philbert Nfor, Secretary of the Nigerian Association of Women Journalists, emphasized the role of women entrepreneurship in reducing financial pressure on households, urging pregnant women to engage in small-scale businesses to support their families and contribute to the community development.
It's an opportunity to get engaged in this program and for me to create awareness on women that women should be up and doing.
Nurse Nana Umar, Assistant Director of Nursing at the Specialist Hospital Jalingo, focused on the early intervention, nutritional education, and access to quality healthcare service as a critical strategies for combating malnutrition. She highlighted the devastating effects of malnutrition on children, pregnant women, and other vulnerable groups, calling for collective responsibilities from families, institutions, and communities.
We just finished the program. In my own line, what I told the women was, it's the season of mosquitoes. We're talking about anemia. So malaria is one of the infections that causes links to anemia. So we advise the women to use the next day distributor to then do out their pregnancy because it saves them, prevent them from contracting malaria. And next, we're talking about malnutrition. Having another baby without spacing causes malnutrition for the previous child since the rate of the under 5. So we encourage the women being pregnant with all the their parameters and they have during pregnancy, they take care of the one that they had pregnancy on because most likely he's not up to the age and he still needs the care and he has the high risk of falling as victim of anemia.
Dr. Alex J. Meangwa, Medical Director of the Specialist Hospital Jalingo, commended the organizing committee for raising awareness on malnutrition and called for sustained campaign and stronger partnership with government agencies and community leaders to promote proper nutrition and preventive health practices.
What you are doing is very important. Malnutrition still remains a very serious issue of public health concern. It affects a lot of our children, their mothers, and the vulnerable in the society. And it has serious effects on their health, isn't it so?
Through initiatives like this, the Malnutrition Awareness Week provides a platform to advocate for stronger nutrition policies, increased investment in nutrition programs, and improve access to healthcare and food security initiatives across West Africa. Reporting for Some TV, Lillian Yaku.
On another front, the federal government led closed-door meetings to resolve the Nupeng Dangote Group disputes ended in deadlock on September 8, 2025. The session, led by Labour Minister Mohammed Dingyadi and Minister of State Nkiruka Onyejoke, included NUPENG, NLC, TUC, NMDPRA, and Dangote officials. NUPENG had threatened to strike over alleged anti-union policies restricting CNG tanker drivers from joining union, despite other drivers' associations distancing themselves. Human rights lawyer Femi Falana backed NUPENG, citing constitutional and international labor violation. Health Minister Isaac Salako warned of hospital disruption due to fuel dependency. The government urged dialogue and restraint, stressing petroleum critical roles, but no agreement was reached. In continuation of this matter, Health Minister Isaac Salako reiterated that the nationwide NUPENG strike would severely affect hospitals, as 65 to 80% rely on fuel-powered generators. The strike, set for 8 September, protests alleged Dangote refinery moves restricting CNG tankers drivers from joining union. While other drivers' associations distanced themselves, NUPENG remained resolute. The federal government urged suspensions and dialogue, stressing the petroleum sector's economic importance, and Falana's backed NUPENG, citing constitutional and international labor violation. Salako had a balance, emphasizing public interest and the critical roles of the petroleum sectors in healthcare and the economy. Turning to security matters, police in Niger State are on the hunt for a 4-man armed robbery gang that dispossessed a bank customers of an undisclosed sum of money in Minna. The incident occurred on Monday morning at Tunga Market, where the victim, driving a Mercedes-Benz, was allegedly trailed and blocked by the suspect in an ash-colored Toyota Camry near the City Gate area. Niger State Police Command spokesperson Wasiu Abiodun confirmed that commissioners of police Adamu Eleman has directed officers to arrest the suspect and conduct a forensic investigation. The victim was advised to officially report the incident at the nearest. Meanwhile, the Council of Fulani Chief in southwest Nigeria has announced a ban on night and underage grazing, alongside discouraging interstate herders' migration to curb insecurity and reduce conflicts with farmers. Council Chairman and Saraki Fulani of Lagos, Mohammed Bamboda II, said the measures aim to preserve peaceful coexistence between herders and host communities, which has existed for over 200 years. They to collaborate with regional security agencies, launch sensitization tour on modern grazing practices, revive nomadic education centers, and collect data on members and livestock for better management. Bamboda II also condemned criminal activities linked to herders, calling for strict adherence to the law. Further highlighting national security efforts, the National Orientation Agency reported that in August, the Nigerian police force made 1,950 arrests and rescued 141 victims, while the Economic and Financial Crime Commission secured 588 convictions, recovering over 21 billion naira. The Nigerian Army conducted 261 operations, neutralizing terrorists and rescuing hostages, and the Nigerian Drug Law Enforcement Agency seized over 66,000 kilograms of drugs arresting 944 suspects and prosecuting 186 cases. The Nigerian Immigration Service strengthened border control, approving over 10,000 visas and intercepting trafficking victims. Director General Laren Issa Onilu credited the achievements to enhance interagency coordination, intelligence-led operations, and public communication efforts aimed at keeping Nigerians safe. In political news, the People Democratic Party (PDP) in Kwara State has criticized the All Progressive Congress (APC) leadership and former Nigerian ambassador to Japan, Professor Gana Yisa, over his recent comments suggesting the PDP relied on a deal with President Bola Tinubu to regain power in the state. The PDP dismissed the claim as false, noting its success in local government election and ongoing legal challenges to disputed result. The party also accused Issa of collaborating with Governor Abdulrahman Abdulrazak to undermine the opposition, responding to APC Senior Special Assistant on Communication, Ibrahim Abdulatif Akolu, described the PDP as living in denial, highlighting the governor's achievements and social investment while asserting that Kwarans continues to reject the PDP at the poll. Meanwhile, the Federal High Court in Abuja has adjourned to 22nd September the hearing of the all application in the suit filed by the Osun State government against the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, and the Accountant General of the Federation over alleged plans to divert local government allocation. The case stemmed from the removal of APC elected council chairman in 2022, which the PDP-led state government insists was affirmed by the court. At Monday's sitting, Justice Emeka deferred proceedings after hearing submissions from all parties. Osun seek to restrain the CBN and Accountant General from releasing funds to the sacked chairman, while the dispute intensifies political tensions in the state. In educational development, teachers and parents have faulted the federal government over the sudden rollout of the new national curriculum, warning that schools are unprepared for its implementation. Speaking during a virtual forum organized by the Concerned Parents and Educator Network, stakeholders described the process as exclusionary, with little input from teachers, private schools association, or parents. While some experts welcome the reduced subject load and include digital literacy, they stress the inadequate infrastructure, poor teachers' training, and lack of resources could undermine success. They urge collaboration with government to ensure reforms address pressing challenges, including Nigeria's 20 million out-of-school children. Complementing this, the National Business and Technical Examination Board has commenced a comprehensive review and validation of 26 trade for technical college across Nigeria. The exercise launched in Abuja covers emerging technologies and traditional vocations, including robotic, coding smart, agriculture, automotive, and creative media, hospitality, costology, and fishery. NAPTEP Registrar Dr. Mohammed said the initiative is aimed at equipping graduates with 21st century skills relevant to the modern labor market while supporting Nigeria's drive to economic diversification and sustainability. He stressed that industry imports green technology adoption, and strong interagency collaboration are central to ensuring the success of the revised curricula. Meanwhile, the JAMB Special Committee on Examination Infrastructures uncovered over 4,000 finger blending and 192 assisted impersonation cases during the 2025 UTME. Chairman Jeka stated culpable CBT to enhance. We go on a brief commercial break. We'll be right back shortly. Don't change the channel.
Fellow Tarabians, my name is Professor Jerome Nyame, the People's Professor. I want to call on all 168 wards that continuous voters registration is currently going on. I urge you to get your PVC today, your voice, and your ticket to participate in shaping our dear states. Get your PVC now, keep it safe, and exercise your rights. Let's make our voice heard. Thank you. I remain the People's Professor, Professor Jerome Nyame.
Welcome back. Similarly, the Nigerian Railways on the Port Harcourt-Aba corridor will resume on Tuesday. According to Dr. Onovo, NRC's District Public Relations Officer, operations were altered on 5th September for routine maintenance. A recent viral video had shown passengers trekking and crossing the stream after the train broke down at Imo River on 3rd September. Onovo explained that despite engineers' effort, the fault persisted until another locomotive rescued the stranded passengers. NRC assured that the repaired train is now fit for service, promising refunds or replacement tickets for affected travelers. Finally, from a demographic perspective, from 2019 to 2023, over 47,000 Nigerians were neutralized as U.S. citizens, according to the Department of Homeland Security Neutralization Annual Flow Report. The figure drawn from N400 applications and USCIS electronic case files show yearly neutralization rising from 8,000 in 2019 to 2020 to a peak of 14,000 in 2022 before slightly dropping to 13,530 in 2023. Nigerians and Democratic Republic of the Congo nationals ranked among the top 30 African source countries, with Africans accounting for 11% of all U.S. neutralization in 2022 to 2023. The report highlights a growing trend of African immigrants taking the oath after a median 6 years in permanent resident status, the fastest growth among all continents. From a community perspective, Lasandi community in Jalingo today witnessed a new chapter at the Lasandi Community Primary Schools. The event attracted dignitaries, political leaders, traditional rulers, and residents from within and outside the community. Retired Brigadier General Jeremiah Aliu described youth as the backbone of society, urging unity, avoidance of political manipulations, and reproductive engagement of their talent while pledging support for community security. Reverend Philip Mika Dofa encouraged the new executive to remain God-fearing and diligent. Chairman Comrade Albert Abowakili pledged to prioritize security, youth development, healthcare, and infrastructure. Some TV correspondents complete the report.
Lasandi community in Jalingo today witnessed a new dawn as the executive of the Lasandi Youth Forum were officially sworn into office at the Lasandi Community Primary School. The colorful ceremony attracted dignitaries, political leaders, traditional rulers, and a large crowd of residents from within and outside the community. In his remarks, the chief host, Brigadier General Jeremiah Aliu Faransa, retired, described youth as the strength of every nation and community. He urged them to remain united, resist being used by politicians, and instead harness their God-given talents to make meaningful impact. He further pledged to work closely with the youth in promoting security across the community.
I will urge all parents, all residents in Lasandi, let's be a pace-setter. Let people come and learn from us, and we can do it. Let there be that will. It's not matter of locking big gates and whatever. If there is no peace, I swear to God that your big house is nonsense. I've seen people who will climb scrappers and whatever. They came out of their house naked because of crisis and so many other things. It starts like this. So by the time the youth cannot be controlled, the whole nation let loose. And for the youth, you are the strength of the nation, of the community. You are the strength of your house.
Also speaking, the father of the day, Reverend Philip Mika Dopa, Director of Connectional Ministries, admonished the new executives to remain faithful, God-fearing, and contented to the discharge of their duties.
To our incoming youth leaders, our society at all levels needs God-fearing youths with corrupt-free mindset, with sacrificial heart for societal development, with vision-oriented mindset for rapid growth and transformation of our society.
In his inaugural address, the newly elected chairman of the Lasandi Youth Forum, Comrade Albert Abowakili, promised to prioritize security, youth development, healthcare, and infrastructural renewal.
We must build a Lasandi where unity prevails over division, where youth have access to jobs, and where security is everybody's business.
Highlight of the events included cultural displays.
Osun State government has launched Imole Wi-Fi, a free public internet service aimed at expanding digital access for residents, students, businesses, and communities across the state. The service announced by Commissioner for Information Kolakbo Alimi is is initially available in government buildings, including the Osun State Library, Osun Mall, and select schools. Governor Ademola Adeleke highlighted that Imole Wi-Fi will cut barriers network and derive growth in education, health, agriculture, and commerce. Special Advisor Aziz Badmos noted the rollout is the first phase with plans to expand access and integrate more digital services over time. Internationally, France National Assembly hosted Prime Minister François Bayrou after just 9 months in office, with 364 deputies voting on confidence against 194 in support. Bayrou had called the confidence vote to break a deadlock over his budget amid cutting 44 billion euros from national debt. His resignation is expected Tuesday, leaving President Emmanuel Macron to appoint a successor. 64% urging Macron to resign and his approval rating at 23%. Social tension persists as union plans strike and far-right leaders Marine Le Pen's appeal could revive our twins. That brings us to the close of this edition of News Hour on Som TV. Follow us on Facebook at Som TV and subscribe on YouTube at Som TV Live for breaking news, in-depth reports, and expert analysis. Until next time, stay informed, stay vigilant, and keep watching.
Ladies and gentlemen, queens and kings of purpose, welcome to the Taraba Human Rights International Film Festival 2025, where nearly 100 powerful minds, dreamers, say to them, welcome to the spark before the wildfire and to the heartbeat of a legacy. Prince Homsuk Alex Jibrin is my name. I am the greatest grandson to the 23rd Longwo, third son to the Kanai of the Ko Chiefdom, and a true prince to the House of Mamen. At Tarif, we will not only be telling stories, but we will be reviving the very soul of the people through film. In September 2025, Taraba will rise again as we invite you to experience, explore, and invest in the greatest epic film ever, in the Kumbo Legacy Workshop. And this is where ancient tradition will meet with modern transformation. Because at Tarif, we shall be